Now we're
Excellent.
live. We'll have a little fun here for people to see. And really? Was weird.
What?
It was playing. The system was confused.
It was playing music to go with the video.
Yeah. Well, it was playing music to go with the video.
Yeah.
You can't.
So what's confusing about that?
You can't see the videos unless you're watching on YouTube.
That's true. I can only see it on the YouTube.
Yeah, I don't have that particular screen is not shared with you. But that's okay. So I'm playing. Oh, I know why it was doing that. That's why. Let's try that
Why?
again. Because it was trying to play two videos at the same time.
Okay.
There we go. Now it's not playing the music. Now it's just playing the chickens eating strawberries. Yes, because I have to. I can't. I can only have the videos one at a time here. This is playing with the chicken video. There you go. Time to wake up. Time to wake up.
Was that our chickens eating the strawberries or somebody else? It looked like Stripe, but I wasn't sure.
It was. They're ours. They're old. They're very old videos that I took a year or two ago. That Stripe was like a year,
That's
maybe.
why.
Stripe was like a year, maybe 2 years old. That was some of the chickens that passed away. You know, that went to chicken heaven.
Yeah, that happens pretty easily, especially when you upset the baby mama.
I think Stripe is like the last of the original batch.
Oh no, we still got 3 Apocalypse Girls.
Oh, do we still got 3 Apocalypse Girls? Oh, okay.
Yeah, we still got 3 Apocalypse Girls.
Yeah, well, I started with 6 of them, so I guess 2 of them died. There we go. One of them Stripe took out. Yeah, we're pretty certain.
One of them Stripe absolutely took out.
I'm certain Stripe took that one out.
Yes, because that one was trying to be a mama to the babies, and Stripe disagreed. Stripe was the mama, not the other one.
Yeah. Yep, I remember that. That one was quite entertaining. Sad, but entertaining.
Stripe, being broody again, has started sneaking the eggs to under the grape thing.
Mm-hmm.
The grape awning.
The grape arbor?
Yeah, there we go.
You mean she's trying to hatch them outside?
Well, she has nothing to hatch. She has non-fertilized eggs. I'm not giving her any more eggs. She can't have any more babies this year. No more babies for the Stripe.
Oh, okay.
But she is determined that she's going to hatch some eggs. And like the fake eggs I gave her, is she keeps rolling them away from the eggs that she's sitting on, so she knows that they're not viable. And she thinks these one might be viable. So you can see her when she's walking with them tucked under her wings. She's got like a super waddle going on. It's hilarious.
You need to video that.
I keep wanting to, but like when I go into the backyard, I often forget my phone.
Wow.
I gotta remember though so I can video it, because it is the funniest thing in the world watching the chicken trying to move her eggs. I come here for the animals. Yeah, totally. I always have awesome chicken stories.
Well, the chickens are very entertaining.
They are. Oh, so my partner was moving the compost in the backyard, and one of the cats decided that he was going to make himself comfortable right on top of the pile that he was working on making. So the cat got a whole shovel full of compost dirt on him. He was very displeased by that. And he freaked out and ran towards the chickens, who chased him away by pecking at him. And the chicken got a mouthful of fur. The cat booked it the other way, knocked something down, which freaked out the chickens, and all the chickens were fine.
That would have been a great video.
And the chickens were just all over him, because every time he got down to a new layer, there was a whole bunch of bugs. So he'd go put the shovel full over in the pile, and then he'd turn back, and there's all the chickens again. So he'd have to like shoo them away.
Yeah. Well, you know, doing the work of the chickens, moving the dirt and exposing the bugs and the worms and everything else for them.
I wish they would climb the trees. There are so many bugs in the trees. It would be great if they would just climb the trees.
Well, you know, it is that time of year.
Need to keep the camera rolling while doing work at the Oasis. You know what? I really should.
I used to have the camera rolling all the time when I was building it. The first 3 years, almost 4 years of the Oasis, from a big grass patch into what it is now, are all up on the YouTube channel.
Yeah, but you didn't have the entertainment of all the animals.
No, I didn't have the entertainment of animals at the time because I didn't have any animals at the time.
All we need now is a couple of goats, and the entertainment value will just go through the roof.
Yeah, but there's no room for goats there.
Unfortunately, no, not even one goat. Although I highly agree with the idea of renting goats to eat the blackberry patches. They love blackberries.
Yes, they do.
And they'll eat it right down to like the roots, and then they'll I think because of the way they chew it or something, the thing never grows back apparently.
Yeah, they kill them. They kill them, knock them all the way back to nothing. Yeah, I've fed blackberries to goats, and I watch them eating them with these big giant spines. I'm thinking, how does that not hurt the roof of their mouth?
They are leather inside and out.
Yeah, I would say. Watching them eat blackberries is just painful for me.
Oh yeah, absolutely. Goats are some of the most interesting creatures, I swear.
Well, that they are. Well, when you finally get on some property, then you have your goats.
Yes, I'm excited. I will not get the fainting goats though.
No, you don't want the fainting goats. They can be a real pain. I've seen videos of fainting goats. They're rather entertaining to watch.
Yep, they are really entertaining to watch, and most people who have fainting goats don't seem to have them for any other reason than entertainment value, I swear. Or maybe eating. Maybe they're good eating. I don't know.
Maybe they could be good eating. Hard to say. Goat yoga. Yes, goat yoga. That's what you can do.
Actually, yes. Goat yoga is awesome. I would never do it, but many people love it.
Well, there's many strange people on the planet today. For those of you that showed up early, thank you all for coming in. We greatly appreciate it. This is our pre-stream where I'm playing with the knobs and dials to ensure all the audio is coming through nice and clear. And we just want to let folks know the real show starts in about 5 minutes.
Are we only 5 minutes away now? Awesome.
Well, when we have random stuff to talk about, we roll through the 15-minute preamble pretty quick. It's when we don't have anything to talk about and we're pulling it out. Well, I mean, what was the great thing this week? The high school kids decorated the high school this week. That was really cool.
Yeah, nothing like that happened here. But I mean, the graduation class for here was like 30 kids.
Yeah.
The school here goes from grade 4 to 12. It's pretty small. Like apparently all the elementary kids are upstairs, and then all the middle and high schoolers are downstairs, and that's how this school works, which is pretty cool. But I was surprised. Really small group.
Yeah, well, that's what happens in a smaller town. I mean, it wasn't much bigger here. They had 170 kids graduate.
30 versus 170. I think there is a bit difference there.
Yeah, well. And it was only about 30 or 40 of them that were out there decorating the school, parking their cars on the track, and found out that the cops did come. The cops did get called on them, and the cops came over, looked at them, shook their heads, told them to pack it up, go home. That was even funnier. I guess they had their grad dinner dance thing.
Oh yeah,
Saturday night, and after that they went and had an after party. They went down to the beach, and I guess they got loud and got called, and the cops came over again, looked at them, shook their heads. All right, go home, go to bed, you guys are loud. And they started moving off to go to another beach. The cops went over to the other beach and said, no, go home, go to bed.
Like herding wet ninja cats through a field of catnip.
Yeah, I thought it was rather comical listening to the story, and I'm like, well, at least the cops were being good and not dicks, and making a whole big thing out of
huge issue out of it. Nah,
a big
we've
issue.
all been to graduations.
Yeah. Well, not all, and some of them have been dicks in the past, but at least this year the cops were being pretty good and just like, hey, all right, we understand you guys have graduated, you're trying to have some fun, but hey, you're starting to piss off the neighbors. Move along.
Yep. No, here, I don't know. The kids around here just don't really seem to want to party.
Well,
Either that or they found a place way out in the woods where nobody can hear them. One of the two.
They're probably out in the woods where nobody can hear them.
Could be.
That would be my bet is, because there's lots of woods that's like 2 kilometers, from their driveways to 2 kilometers, the woods are pretty deep. So, hey,
Yeah, that's true. Especially like just going from here to Honeymoon Bay, you got 2 large allotments of woods that you can hang out in.
Yeah, lots of space. All right. On that happy note, a little bit of music to carry us right up to showtime.
These are the days of thunder. We're gonna make time stand still. A quarter after midnight, and I'm watching the wall. Sometimes I feel so uptight, I just can't sleep at all. Every day doing the same old thing, we're losing time. The weekend comes, we gotta have some fun and rewind. These are the days of thunder. We're gonna make time stand still. We gotta feel the hunger, hanging over the edge just to taste the thrill. I feel the rope tightening, choking off our air. We need to grab some lightning. Friday's almost here. Caught in a web, we need to cut this thread we're hanging by. Where is it said you have to be half dead to survive? These are the days of thunder. We're gonna make time stand still. We gotta feel the hunger, hanging over the edge just to taste the thrill. These are the days of thunder. We're gonna make time stand still. We gotta feel the hunger, hanging over the edge just to taste the thrill. These are the days of thunder. We're gonna make time stand still. We gotta feel the hunger, hanging over the edge just to taste the thrill. These are the days of thunder.
Alrighty then, it must be time.
Absolutely.
Ladies and gentlemen, it is time for WordPress Plugins A to Z, not Z.
It's episode 652. We have plugins for no more feeding spam emails while checking your PHP vitals, and some WordPress news, all coming up on WordPress Plugins from A to Z. WordPress, the king of content management systems, powering the web with over 80,000 plugins to choose from. How do you sort the junk from the gems? Welcome to WP Plugins A-Z, where we've been keeping the pulse of WordPress alive for over 16 incredible years. Join us every week for an unrehearsed, real talk breakdowns of the latest and greatest plugins, developer and community member interviews. Some weeks, Amber and I team up to dig in. Others, I'm flying solo, unpacking WordPress news, demoing a standout plugin, or sharing tips to power up your site. No scripts, no fluff, just the good stuff from A to Z. So plug in and let's get rolling. Well, good morning, good afternoon, or good evening, wherever you happen to be hiding out there on the globe today, coming to you direct from the brewery overlooking beautiful southern Vancouver Island. I'm John Overall, and with me is the ever lovely
Amber Overall.
There we go. We're moving along. For those of you that tune in later on or hear this in the downloads, hey, we often have a really good pre-stream. It was a great pre-stream today. Other than that, thanks everyone for joining us. We've got all kinds of great fun and stuff, and I don't really have all that much to say. So
Thank you for sharing, John. Now get down from that soapbox.
Wow, that's the shortest bit you've had to say in a while. Excellent.
No, I just don't have a whole lot in my brain at the moment. I'm trying to. It's summertime.
All right. Well, it is actually summertime. My kids are already out. Okay. So, welcome to episode 652. Beyond Basics, WP Plugins A-Z discovers hidden gems for your WordPress arsenal. Okay, cool. I forgot about what the title was because every time that I write out these titles, I write it out and then I immediately forget it. The picture today totally reminds me of what you'll put into a fish tank, so it makes me think of goldfish.
Mm-hmm. Well, it's not bad artwork.
We've got a couple of great in-depth plugins to cover for you, some recent news in both the WordPress world and the tech world in general, and some awesome WordPress tips. Hopefully, everyone is keeping themselves properly hydrated now it's nice and warm, although it's nice and stormy, gray, cloudy out there today, at least where I am. But it's still warm, so even when it's cloudy and warm, you still want to make sure you keep yourself pretty well hydrated. So, grab a thing of chips or something, because you need the salt in order to retain the water, which kind of sounds counterproductive, but it's true. A couple of reminders before we start the show today. You can join us here every Monday at about 12 p.m. Pacific time and enjoy our show. Show notes are added within 24 hours of the show airing. You can find them on our homepage or in the podcast vaults. This is a value for value show. So you can help us get some loving by hitting some like buttons, sharing an episode or two, or, just turn up the show really loudly and allow others to hear this awesome show that you are enjoying listening to. Our artist today is, I honestly thought it was Grok, but no, it's DALL-E. DALL-E? OpenAI art.
The OpenAI art generator called DALL-E. Yes, I ended up going there because Grok can't produce worth crap right now, and Firefly it loses it. So what I did discover, though, is really cool, is I can go to Grok, ask Grok to create me a really great prompt that I then take to DALL-E and get my art. So,
well, what about have you tried grok.com?
That's where I do everything now. It's on grok.com.
Oh, okay.
I quit doing it
Weird.
I quit doing it in the online or in Twitter. Unless I'm in Twitter and I need something answered real quick, then I go into that one. But for anything significant, I now go to grok.com.
Makes sense. All right. On to the news.
On to the news.
Please, can everybody be quiet? Please be quiet. Shut up! And now the news with Amber.
So first thing I've got for you today is WordPress Vulnerability Report. In this report, there are 138 vulnerabilities. I like this number. It's a lower number than it has been for a bit. 101 of them are plugins, and 37 are themes. So currently, we have 55 plugins that are patched with 46 left to go, and we have 20 themes that are patched with 17 left to go. That's not the right one. That's the one below. There you go.
I know. I clicked the wrong button. It happens, man. It happens.
Fair enough.
I hit the scroll. I hit the scroll and it just looked good. It was a blue link. Click it.
Well, the patch deck is next one we go to anyway. Yeah. Because that one is set up very differently from the patch deck is set up differently from the solid WP. Solid WP is a great quick look at it. You can kind of scroll through and see what needs to be updated that they have in a list form, whereas the patch stack keeps you updated live. You can find things that were updated like hours ago, days ago, or even seconds ago sometimes. So it's patch stack is really good for keeping up to date in live action. Live action? Yeah, it works.
Yeah, it works.
Next up, we have dropping security updates for WordPress versions 4.1 through 4.6. Just in case anyone wasn't aware of this, because I know this has been coming for a while. But this is something that is now official. They're no longer producing any security updates for WordPress versions 4.1 through 4.6. And if you're not sure what version you're using, you can go to this page, scroll down a bit, and you'll see. You'll see directions on how to figure out what version you're running.
Yeah, well, hopefully nobody's running version 1. I mean, after all, it's been around since 2014.
No, 4.1.
Yeah. So, yeah, I messed that whole thing up, didn't I? No, hopefully nobody's running version 4.1 because it's been around since 2014.
Yes. 4.1 was like 10 years ago.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. So if you're still running that, that means you don't care about the security because you've already modified it so that you're still using it for whatever specific purpose you need it.
I just figured I'd let everyone know, just in case you're not aware.
Yep.
Next, I have an upcoming change for GitHub. Dependabot compute migration to GitHub Actions. So for those who don't know, Dependabot is a code scanning tool in GitHub designed to help manage and update the dependencies in your project automatically. The main change is that GitHub is consolidating Dependabot's compute platform to GitHub Actions, and the jobs that generate will be pulling requests. They'll generate pull requests will be run as GitHub Actions workflows. This allows Dependabot to leverage GitHub Actions infrastructure, including connecting with Dependabot and self-hosted runners. That was so much easier to read than it was to say out loud.
That's the way it works.
And that is directly off of this update that they wrote out. So I made sure I copied it. The changes that are coming up are not supposed to cause any issues for the developers. Everything is supposed to continue running seamlessly in the background. Dependabot will also still be free, although those that have opted into a paid version, you may experience additional charges, is what they say. So if you want to know more about the changes that are coming in, click on this link. It'll take you to the page that you see on here, and you can learn more about what's going on. Next thing I have here is Alt-Control.org draws 200 plus for open discussion on WordPress, free software, and governance. So originally, this was just supposed to be like a small side thing. And then they ended up renting a place with 200 seats, and that wasn't enough. They were able to add another 150 people into like a whole area. That wasn't enough. So like, okay, we'll just put it up on YouTube. I've got the link here in the show notes, but this right here, this particular article talks about the various people who spoke, what they said, their thoughts. And this is a good thing to read and follow the links on. But after you read this, you want to go to what I have here next, which is the community responds to FAIR, hope, skepticism, and support for decentralizing WordPress. So once you have an idea of who was talking and their thoughts on it, go here and you'll find out that because they were so flexible, made sure that they had a YouTube live stream, a lot of people started sending in their opinions from all over the globe, all within the WordPress community and outside the community too, I think. They sent in their opinions through Slack threads, blog posts, comment sections, and people even got up on stage at the WordCamp Europe itself to talk about this. There is a massive divide now. I mean, we already had a divide, but this is just making the divide clearer in the community as far as I'm concerned.
Yeah.
The divide.
Keep going.
The divide is between people who approve of this because they absolutely support decentralization. And then the other side is those who worry about decentralization because they think it could fragment the trust, complicate moderation, and weaken the ecosystem's cohesion. Mullenweg appears to be against this, although he does make a big effort to point out that he likes the he likes the effort that these people are putting in.
Yep.
And if you are interested, you can go to this article. It talks more in depth about whether FAIR can be seen as a centralization or stability, or decentralization or stability, bringing in arguments from both sides. It'll help you understand both sides of the divide and what their thoughts are, and maybe there's some common ground that we can find.
We will see what happens. The FAIR project is something that is causing a change in the WordPress ecosystem that, in my opinion, is way overdue.
Yeah, I agree. A lot of people are saying that it's way overdue. I'm one of those. I think it's way overdue, but also I do understand the worries that some people have.
Yeah, well, I don't think those worries will manifest themselves simply because there's lots of other open source projects that are decentralized and run just fine. And their trust is not a problem. I mean, you've got Linux distributions, you've got PHP distributions, you've got MySQL.
GIMP is also open.
Well, Git, you know.
No, GIMP.
GIMP is
GIMP is the photo thing that I use.
The photo thing you use, yeah. So there's lots of things there. But it's just that this is a major change for the WordPress community, and this kind of change is going to be fought and not fought, and it's not going to come easy, and it's not going to come fast. It's going to take, in my viewpoint, 1 year to 2 years of time for it to manifest, but it will manifest. It has to. Otherwise, this community is going to fracture even worse.
I agree. So the next thing I have on here is something that happened at the WordCamp Europe, which I think is actually kind of important. WordPress leadership says no to bringing back sustainability team despite the public plea and community petition. So way back in January, the sustainability team was abruptly disbanded by Mullenweg over what he described was a lack of measurable output, a move that sparked backlash at the time. It was described by one person as bizarrely heinous behavior. At WordCamp Europe, 100 signatures were grabbed up in a petition to bring the team back, and Mullenweg and Hubbard refused. Even though the petition was brought out, they still said, no, it's not happening. And when he was pressed on, well, what are your opinions about this? What are your thoughts on this? He did kind of a left-hand turn into the urgency of environmental action, talking about how tomorrow's World Ocean Day, our oceans are in danger and have immense influence in our climate. He is not interested in talking about this. He's made his decision, it seems.
Well, if he's paying for it, I don't blame him. But the thing is, it doesn't show, from my viewpoint, it didn't show any value. It's like, why have something that's showing no value that's just there for whatever reason?
So the reason why I think it's important is not just because of the fact that it may or may not have shown value, because I don't really know much about this. I don't understand entirely what the sustainability team was. Yeah. My issue is that petition was created, brought forth, and just absolutely vetoed. Well, but everything is supposed to be community driven.
No, well, that's the way it works in a benevolent dictator for life situation, though.
See, this is the reason why I think this is important is because I think things like this are going to cause people to go one way or another when it comes to the whole FAIR thing. Yep. So that's why I figured this was an important item to bring forth, not because necessarily of the team, but because of the whole action overall. Yeah. And then I've got one more thing here, completely unrelated to WordPress at all. The solar system's greatest mystery may have finally been solved, which is honestly an overdramatic title.
Oh, yeah.
This article is actually about the Planet 9 that we know is lurking just outside of our ability to find it, which It's pretty cool, actually, because I've talked about Planet 9 before and been told I'm ridiculous, but the way that they've actually figured out how to find this planet, I think, is rather brilliant. Instead of looking for a reflection of sunlight, which is what they have always done, what they are doing now is they are looking for the planet's own heat signature. This is not something they've ever really done before because I don't know why, but I guess because of all the confusion that can happen with the sun glancing off of things, I'm not sure. But they are actually looking, as far as I understand, they've actually found the planet 9 because of looking for its own heat signature. And all I can think of is what else can they apply this type of search form to? It's a pretty cool idea.
Yep, it is. Be kind of cool if it does exist.
And then we've got our extras. We've got information about who's powering Fair's infrastructure and some WordPress SEO tips, all kinds of good stuff in the extras here.
All right. Well, go check out the extras. There's always some entertainment there. All right. It's Rogue's Corners time. We have a few things going to add to the Fair project we were just blabbing on about. And this is a bit more on what it actually is. The project manager is launched as a WordPress repository alternative, but it's not exactly a repository alternative. What it is a decentralization of the WordPress repository. The WordPress repository as it exists will currently continue to exist. What this project's proposing to do is to allow people to set up their own repos and then connect into the federated network via, lack of the proper term right now, API keys. So you could set up your own repo, put your trusted plugins into it. You can federate that into the central repo. I'm not certain yet. I haven't done the deep dive I need to do to see how they will manage data in them across installs and checking to see if the plugins are good and valid the way they do from the WordPress repository currently, which of course is one of the complaints of the people that run the WordPress repository not wanting this. Well, who's going to check the plugins? Well, that's one of the things out there. And that is what it is. This article gives you a good rundown on what it is and what it does, although the title is kind of misleading. Another article on it is, well, actually, it's the article you brought. The community responds to the Fair hope and skepticism and support for decentralizing WordPress. So this is just a repeat of that article. So go check out this stuff, folks, and find out more about it, because if you're in the WordPress ecosystem in any way, shape, and form, this is going to impact you over the coming years, because this is happening to the community, and it's kind of the same problem I had back when they crammed Gutenberg down my throat. I tried to fight it, but it didn't work. And the same thing is on this one. You can fight it, but it's going to happen one way or another because there is enough community momentum behind this. So it is coming.
The wheel is turning.
Yep. All right. So another article I've got here is, the Fair, they're trying to look inside to see who is going to behind Fair. This is all the people that are behind the Fair, so it's another duplicate of the article you brought. And some random news here. Automatic is closing its San Francisco office, now available for rent. A big, giant, huge office space where maybe 5 people a week showed up to.
Oh, wow.
Fair reason to close it, because Automatic is always, they've always prided themselves on their distributed model of working. The people working for Automatic work across the globe and on top of mountains, by the beaches, their apartments, wherever they want to work. And they had the office there so they could have an annual meeting and other miscellaneous stuff. And I guess they're starting to see the not so valuable aspect of paying this ridiculous exorbitant amount of money in San Francisco, and nobody's there to use it. So I thought it was an interesting article and an interesting tidbit.
It is.
Another little item, folks. If you want to know how the LLMs work, the AI works, go check out this website here at bbcroft.net. And it takes you and walks you through the entire breakdown of how a large language model analyzes data and then outputs and spits it out for you. It is really quite the complicated thing you can get yourself lost in. I thought it was very entertaining, thought people might want to know a little bit more, so I thought I'd bring it here.
Always good to know.
It's always good to know how things work, even if you can't create them. But if you know how they work, it makes it easier to understand what you're doing.
And work with them rather than against them.
Mm-hmm. All right, a couple of coding tip things here. First question, I got a question for all the listeners out there. I'd appreciate some responses if anyone can send them. How many of you out there have that phantom plugin always needing an update inside your WordPress dashboard? You know,
Yeah.
You see that little red one that says a plugin needs update. You go check, no plugin needs update. You go check, nope, no themes. Nope, it's up to the latest version of WordPress, but for some reason that red one will not go away. And it just hangs around, and then one day it's gone. And it stays gone for a while, and all of a sudden it's back again. It's like, okay, and now I've had this for years. I've just been ignoring it, and Amber brought it to my attention a few weeks back, and I went, oh yeah, I forgot about that. I usually just ignore it. But anyone else out there have it? Anyone else out there find a solution to it? I'd greatly appreciate it.
I honestly, I keep trying to ignore it, but it's a giant red one.
I know.
And as I'm working, the one grows until it takes up the entirety of the screen for my eyes. I can't see anything but the giant red one.
Well, you know. At any rate, another article I've got in here. This is a coding cheat sheet for developers, and basically it is a cheat sheet of all kinds of things you can do in here for your coding, and it's got some really great tips, bootstrap tips, HTML cheat sheet, and more. So it's a really great item in here, so you can go check that out. Final little thing I've got here for you is a little bit of AI stuff. The godfather of AI now fears it's unsafe, and he has a plan to rein it in. So it's basically they want to see if they can deal with the AI, which is getting out of their control, and try to control it. I don't think they can put this genie back in the bottle.
No, they can't.
I think this genie's out, and it ain't going back in the bottle.
They've already got their own language. There's no way that we can keep up with them. They've left the orbit.
Yep, they've left the orbit. It's all done. All right, couple of quick tips of the day here. Don't forget, go check out Influence WP. He's been growing by leaps and bounds with the deals that are there. No affiliates, just deals. And it's got some really great stuff there. I saw a tweet from him earlier today that it's also great for research to see what people are offering and then how many of them actually have free trials or other miscellaneous things. So go check it out. And then from Advanced Custom Fields, I've got an article here on optimizing WordPress development, some advanced best practices. So some things you'll want to do to understand what you're doing with your WordPress website to optimize your site to make it faster, more stable, and just a great place to play.
Always a good option to check things like that out.
Yeah, always a good one. And all of that, it is time to wander on into our plugins. All right. First one I've got for you today. Well, the only one I've got today. Some days I have two, but lately I've been too busy to grab two and write more stuff. All right. The plugin I've got for you here is a great, useful tool. It is called Stop WP Emails from Going to Spam. Now, if you've been in your own WordPress environment using your host provider for email, yes, you should pay for a proper SMTP platform or something, but sometimes it's not worth the money.
Hang on. Your thing isn't showing up on the screen for YouTube.
My thing isn't showing up.
Yeah.
What thing?
It's just our pictures on YouTube.
Oh, that's because I forgot to translate it and move it over. Or to transition things. I'm sometimes I'm looking. I've got 4 monitors here, folks, so I never know what monitor I'm looking at.
That's why you need people like me to speak up and be like, "Hey, fix it."
Hey, yeah, fix it. Yeah, fix it. All right. So at any rate, okay, here you go. You can see it. Stop emails from going, WP emails from going to spam. So if you've been in WordPress for a while and you've used your hosting provider, SMTP, which most people do for sending the emails from your WordPress website, you will have encountered this problem at least once. And that is when your emails are sent, they go to your clients or people and it ends up in their spam filter. Well, that is caused because of the way emails are handled now and because of the way WordPress sends out the emails. What this plugin does for you is it allows the WP mailing system to use your SPF key, make sure you're aligned with a proper email address that is to your domain so you can use everything. It aligns everything up and allows you to adjust the subject line a little bit and the outgoing email. All of those quick things, quick and easy. And what that should do is that should maybe not 100% eliminate, but almost virtually eliminate your emails from getting into spam. This is really a great plugin. Simple, easy, free, just does the job you need to do to stop your emails. Now, this works for your contact forms that are being sent. It works for your comments. It works for your password resets, all of those important emails coming from your WordPress website. So go check this one out. It is Stop WP Emails from Going to Spam, and I give it a 5 Dragon rating.
That is pretty brilliant. Like I recently had an issue where because I use my WP Pro email as my main email, I wasn't able to receive, or I wasn't able to respond to someone, have them receive my email.
Yeah.
Yeah, so that's a really good idea.
All right. Well, let's come here. Mouse. There you go.
So for the WordPress tips, we would love to hear some tidbit tips from some of you guys out there. What have you figured out by breaking something? Or what did you need to learn in order to help someone else who broke something? You can send these tidbits in to me at amber@wppro.ca. My tip to you today: recognize your strengths and weaknesses. For instance, a site we recently brought live, we were testing it out, and one of the issues that was found was a loading issue with the thank you page on the site. You know how you fill out the form and then it's supposed to go to a separate page that says thanks on it? Well, quite a few of them weren't. They just said thank you on the same page, which in actuality isn't all that bad, but it totally messed with my brilliant design. So I was very upset by this. I couldn't quite figure out how to fix it. And so instead of spending the 2 to 3 days it would have taken me to figure it out, I just got a hold of my dad, who is a genius with techie stuff like that. And he figured out within 2 hours. What would have taken me 2 to 3 days, he figured out in like 2 hours. And it's not just because he has so much experience, it's also because of the way his brain works. So when you are working on things, accept your weaknesses and understand your strengths. Because if you can't accept that you have weaknesses, you're not going to get very far. Every time that you work on something, remember that you are not meant to do it all. You can't do it all. You will have things that you are fantastic in, and then you're going to have things you're going to have to ask for help in. So make sure that you actually do that. Otherwise, you're going to find yourself having very large issues. None of us are good at everything. We're just all really good at something. And share that around. It'll go easier.
Absolutely.
All right, the one I have for today is PHP Vitals. This was sent in to us by a Max who is with WebSlice, the creator of PHP Vitals. Brand new, out-of-the-box plugin, and it's super easy to use. Max informed me with the email that this plugin is designed to test out how quickly your web host runs PHP. As we all know, speed is what you need to do, well in this industry. So knowing how quickly your web host runs PHP is a very good thing. And PHP Vitals can help you figure out if your site is running slow because of something on the host level or because of something in your site. Once you have downloaded and activated this, you will see on the left-hand menu PHP Vitals. Clicking on this will bring you to their dashboard where you will see a blue button saying Run Benchmark. Clicking on this will do a full run of your PHP and you'll get an overall result at the end of 1 to 2 minutes. There is an option that you can choose on the right-hand side of this dashboard where if you agree to PHP Vitals having access to your test results, you check off the box that says, I have read and agreed to the terms of use and privacy, and hit save. After you do this, there is a new box that appears saying benchmark history, and here you can compare your results. A cool thing here is that if you click the box, then decide you don't really actually want to share anything with them, you can actually, they give you another option where you can opt out again. You just click the box saying that I don't want to share anything with them, hit save, and you no longer are going to be sharing anything with them. That's something I haven't actually seen before. Usually you get the option of whether or not you're going to share with them. And if you choose to share, you can't back out. And that's that. These guys give you the option to back out. I like that a lot.
Yeah, that's cool.
Yeah. So I did the test a few times, and I agree with what I saw. I also decided to opt in and then opt out of the comparison choice, though I was still able to see history of my results. And just as a test, I decided to do another benchmark test, and I still got the whole history. So I'm not sure if that's like a quirk. I don't know. If the creators are listening, let me know. Now, when testing a plugin like this, I would recommend that you don't just do one test. I would recommend that you do more than a few tests because there's always going to be something different going on with every host. Do a few tests and take the medium from that. Don't just accept any test for any speed. Do a few.
Well, you know, on a server at any point in time, the server's loads are always going up and down. So you can get an average that way because, you know, let's face it, unless you are the only one on that server and you're renting that server and doing that server, you're sharing that server with, depend on the hosting provider, upwards of hundreds of other websites that are sucking down resources too at the same time.
Exactly. And when I ran my multiple tests, their tests were actually all really close, even throughout the day. So, like, they're pretty amazing.
That means my server's doing its job.
Yep. But they are pretty awesome with their ability to really latch on to the basics of what's going on, not adding in anything else, which I was really impressed with. I like these guys a lot. Totally free plugin. Highly recommend you check them out. I give these guys a 5 dragon rating.
Very cool. I'll have to give that one a shot. Check out a few things. It's always nice to know where everything's performing.
Exactly.
All right. Well, let's run into some announcements.
A better day, believe it.
Okay, sure, we can keep that one.
Yeah, you know.
So if anybody out there has an announcement like a meetup, or if you want to announce that you'll be on stage at one of the WordCamps around the globe, let us know. We'll add it here and help get your news out. So right here for now, we have the next 5 WordCamps around the globe that are popping up and the dates that they're going for. And then we also have the main link there, and we have a link for WordPress meetups. It's just the WordPress meetups. So if you want a like specific town or anything, you'll have to click on this link and continue navigating through to specify it down. I believe we have a link for this next one, the affiliate. Yep.
There you go. It's not a link. It's sound. I wasn't certain you were done talking.
Did I say link? I meant sound.
All right. We do have some affiliates. We have 3 affiliate programs right now that we're a part of, and we're very choosy about our affiliates. We want to make sure that they're things that we're actively using and we believe in their product. First one up is Termageddon, and Termageddon, and this one here, where more and more of our clients are taking this on, and that is to help them stay compliant with the insanity of the privacy laws being passed across the globe in everywhere you go, every state, province, country across the globe, and none of them are the same. They keep changing them, and because your website might be relevant in Eastern Canada, California, and some other state, or even the EU, well, you've got to comply with all these policies if you've got clients in all these different spaces. So what happens is this one here, Termageddon, helps you keep up to date. You answer a bunch of questions relevant to what your business is doing, where you're doing business, and then what they do is they produce a policy for you that is kept up to date. And as things change with the new policy laws, like Canadians in particular, we've got new laws coming into effect at the end of July. And so what they do is they add all those new things. And if new questions are asked, they send you an email and say, hey, you got to go answer these new questions, and you fill them all out. And then your policy is kept up to date and secure. Very easy. They also provide you with a cookie manager and a couple of other policies. Your what are they called? The disclaimer, and I can't remember them now. At any rate, very excellent deal, and it is easy to do, and it is quite affordable at only $112 US a year. So go check out Termageddon. Use our link. We get, a couple of bucks out of it, and it still costs you the same.
And we have Rank Math, which I really love these guys. They're an SEO company that they work on your site. In the free version, they give you everything you need in order to have some pretty decent SEO. If you have questions, they're happy to answer, whether or not you're a paying customer or not. And they also, all of their little how-tos and everything are in people speak, not techie speak, which is really, really useful.
Okay. And the final one I've got here is bunny.net. And bunny.net is a CDN network system that is very useful, very affordable. I think I've dumped $50 on them about 8 months ago, and I've still got half that left after running gigabytes through. We started running all our podcasts through them. The one thing I like is the stats you get from it. We discovered that there's more downloads on our show than I thought there was, and they're coming from places on the globe that I didn't even know we were being listened to, such as Singapore and trying to remember the other countries, Israel and lots of other places on the globe. More people in Australia and New Zealand than I thought were listening to us. So hello to everybody out there listening to us from all those different places. So at any rate, very affordable, very fast, worldwide distribution for your content.
And then we've got some donations.
All right, let's wander into that.
It's time to donate to WP Plugins A-Z.
So for producership credits, if you are interested, they are actually a thing, and we do offer them up to those who donate through time, talent, or treasure. And you can use these credits to boost up your resume, add to your LinkedIn file, so on and so forth. And even if you're not interested in receiving a producership credit, check out how you can use us as a stepping ladder in the world of the internet. So you can get yourself an interview, get us to make an announcement for you, let us know what you have to say, or if you have a company worth checking out. That would be using us as a stepping ladder. However, you're also helping us. It's a whole scratch your back, we'll scratch yours. Fantastic deal. And if you're interested, you can have a look through our site at WPPluginsAtoZ.com. Check out the time, talent, and treasure pages to find out how you can donate. And today's plugins we covered were...
I covered up the Stop WP Emails Going to Spam by Fullworks. Tested up the PHP 8.3, checks email SPF health, and uses your SPF key, or your SPF key. For sending your email, checks if your IP has been blacklisted, which is always a useful thing too. Very useful plugin, and I gave it a 5 dragon rating.
And I covered PHP Vitals by WebSlice. PHP-based analysis on how fast your web host's speed is, 1 overall grade, and can test previous performances. Can compare your current test to previous performances. I forgot a couple words there.
Don't worry, we'll clean it up in post.
If you're interested in reaching out to us, you can actually still use snail mail with us. We have a brick and mortar address. It's right here in the show notes. And if you don't feel like bothering with the brick and mortar address, we do also have our internet addresses listed just for you guys. Time for question and answers.
Really?
Okay. Yep.
It's question and answer time with John and Amber.
There you go. And for those of you, before Amber goes into her little spiel, hey, don't forget, if we get some more people regularly attending to the YouTube channel, we might be able to replace that picture of Amber hiding in the mask with the real person. Come on, folks.
Maybe.
That's what we
We'll
want.
see.
No, it's going to happen, man. We get enough people, it's going to happen. Even if I have to send someone up there to just rip the mask off your face.
Oh,
right.
also, hello, Lars. Good to see you at the show.
Yes. Hi, Lars. How's it going? Thank you. Thank you for showing up.
So if anybody out there has any questions they'd like to have asked here on the show, you can send them in to me at amber@wppro.ca. Maybe working together will stump my dad. I've stumped him once. I'm totally going to hold that over his head for the rest of my life. But if nothing else, we can always get good conversation out of him.
Oh, absolutely.
So what are 3 main speed tests that are good to do semi-regularly on sites, and why?
Define what you mean by that. Do you mean, running to websites for running speed tests, or what are you after here? This is like a...
Okay. So if you have a website and you see it's going kind of slow, like let's take WPPluginsAtoZ.com. It runs kind of slow here and there. What would be the first 3 things that you would choose to do in order to figure out speed issues? Because I know that you do some tests.
Okay, you can run GTmetrix as my go-to for initial tests because it gives you the waterfall and everything else. And you can go see if you've got heavy payloads of images or other miscellaneous things. I can't remember the plugin now, but there's a plugin for testing your MySQL, your MySQL speeds. So you'll want to know what your MySQL. The one that you just delivered up is another great test, which is testing your PHP responsive time and vitals. The biggest, those are the 3 main tests you're looking for. Is you want to test your database, your server. In other words, your server being your PHP responsiveness, your MySQL responsiveness, and then checking to see what you're delivering from your website, which is, do you have a crap load of images? Is your page downloading 20 gigabytes of data to be loaded up and delivered to the browser? Which is a real pain for the first time someone gets there. The second time, it'll load fast because they've got cached. All that stuff's been cached in their local stuff, but still, all of that's there. So those are your 3 major things is, what are you delivering and downloading? The other thing is there are tests for testing your theme to see if your theme is any good. That's if you're still using the theme. I highly recommend dumping themes entirely, folks, and go with the base Elementor theme, which isn't the theme. It's just a framework for what you're going to build. So.
Okay, and then my next question is, what are some things that can mess up the results of those speed tests, and are there ways to avoid those issues?
Again, we need some more definitions here. What are some things that can mess up those results? Well, your large images, large files, mess up those results, mess up the speed test. But what do you mean by things that can mess up those speed tests? Your internet connection, that can mess up the speed results. You have a piss poor internet connection.
Like, how are you going? Okay, so if you're doing these speed tests, and what are some things what are some things you need to watch out for that you can avoid that could mess up your speed tests and give you false information?
Oh, give you false information.
Yeah. Or is there anything?
There might be. I'm trying to think because I've never thought about dealing with the false information. Because you get the information, you look at it and analyze it and go, oh, is this true? It's like, okay, and then you go analyze your site and it says, okay, yeah, this is a problem. Coding issues, large images, but that's not really false information. If the speed tester, like we're going to use GTmetrix because that's what pops to mind. People use the Google testers, and there's a dozen different testers out there. but they all test the same stuff and give you information based upon what they get. They don't generally get false information unless they're getting it from the wrong source. Or if you got redirects could give you false information if you have redirects.
All right. So it's not really a matter of false information or anything like that. It's a matter of analyzing the information that you are receiving at the time and then check to see how you can resolve the issue.
Yeah. See if that information is valid or not. And it usually is. It usually is valid. I mean, the biggest problems with websites is you're delivering large images, unoptimized data. You know, you're trying to deliver it. Everybody's on shared hosting. That varies by quality of your hosting provider. But shared hosting, if your images are larger or you're delivering video or audio files on shared hosting, they can be delivered pretty slowly, which is where CDN networks such as BunnyNet comes in. Because now it will deliver that data from a third-party source and deliver it asynchronously to your website. So in other words, it'll parallel down data versus trying to deliver the data down in steps as it comes down. So first you got to deliver this image, then you get this image, then you get this file, then you get this, you know, whereas pulling it from a third-party source, it's like, hey, I'm getting the image and this file at the same time. So.
All right. Your alter ego has a question for you.
Mm-hmm.
Would having a group of people gaming or downloading stuff on your network affect it greatly?
It can. Depends on your network. And depends on what they're doing. I know occasionally when I'm doing work, if the boys are here and they're playing their video games, the VR and the other games, it's like I have a little bit of impact on my uploads and downloads. I mean, only so much data can be pushed through the pipe. I don't care what happens. The pipe is only so big, and depending on what you pay for from your provider, your pipe might be constricted.
Okay.
So yes, it can. All right. Well, those are the two initial questions for those listening in the downloads that are listening to us on their favorite podcast app or on the website or whatever. Well, we've got other questions over on the YouTube channel. You got to come back to the YouTube channel. For those of listening to us on YouTube, hey, hang around for a minute. We're going to do our little exit credits, and we will be right back. So let's let our girl take us on out of here.
Reminders for the show. All the show notes can be found at WPPluginsAtoZ.com. And while you're there, subscribe to the newsletter for more useful information delivered directly to your inbox. WP Plugins A-Z is a show that offers honest and unbiased reviews of plugins created by you, the developers, because you support the show. Help keep the show honest and unbiased by going to WPPluginsAtoZ.com/donate and set the donation level that fits your budget. Help us make the show better for you by subscribing and reviewing the show through your favorite podcast app. You can also watch the show live on YouTube at WP Plugins A-Z. And remember to subscribe and hit the bell to get notifications of all new videos. You can also follow the show on X at WP Plugins A-Z. John can be reached directly through the website WPProAtoZ.com or email him at john@WPPro.ca. Amber can also be contacted through the website at WPProAtoZ.com or email her directly, amber@WPPro.ca. Thanks for joining us. Have a great day, and we'll see you next week.
There we go. Our new exit.
Yeah, I was listening to that. Sounds really good.
It's up to date, finally. Oh,
Hi,
Hemdian's here. You're a little late, but hey, it's all good.
Better late than never.
Yeah, there you go. Screen sharing in Teams uses way more bandwidth than you might expect. Yeah, it does. But, you know, bandwidth I got here where my boys are at school and the apartment building I live in is mostly empty. I have really good bandwidth in the middle of the afternoon. Evening time.
That's why we did a show this time.
Evening time, not so much. Evening time, things slow down a little bit on my internet. And that's probably because everyone comes home and all the kids are gaming and all the other people in the building are gaming because, you know, even though your pipe is fast, it still connects to the main pipe, which leaves the building.
Oh, yeah.
And even if you're in a neighborhood, it still goes out to that line, and the neighborhood can impact you. There's a lot that goes into everything for that.
All right, so last 2 questions I got for you. How does LLM read and understand sites?
Go back and read that article I put up earlier.
No, you're supposed to explain it. Come on. Just the basics.
All right, the basics. It comes in and reads it almost like a human does. It reads the data, and somewhere you were telling me you're the one that dug deeper into it for SEO. It grabs words from multiple different places. So you had more information on that than I did. I had to.
Yes, I do, but I'm asking you these questions.
Yeah, you're asking me these questions, even though you know I have limited knowledge on it because I haven't dived deep into it yet. I haven't spent the time to analyze it all out. I can only spend so much time analyzing stuff.
And it's not that it grabs the words from multiple places. It's that even when you put the words into quotes now, it'll still take each word individually and search each word individually, which is why you get some really weird results sometimes. A little different.
Yeah, sooner or later it'll understand quotes. But yeah, it just grabs it all at once, analyzes it, and spits it back at you. That's what I understand it to do.
Actually, it used to understand quotes. If you put something in quotes, it would look for that exact sentence, and it wouldn't look for anything else. Now it still takes those singular words and searches for them, so you get some really weird results now.
Yeah.
It doesn't consider words like and or to because those are too common though.
Yeah.
All right. Well, yes. Okay. I have more information than you.
Yes, you do.
But
you have more information than I do. So eventually you have to exceed the apprentice eventually has to exceed the master.
At least in some areas.
Yeah. In all areas. In all areas, you'll eventually exceed me.
Okay, so the next question is, how are these new models of AI search bots different from the bots we have always loved to hate, do you think? Now, this one I don't really have the answer to, so.
Well, as far as I can tell at the moment, the way they're different is in that the current search bots, the ones hitting your website.
Yeah.
Okay, well, the search bots that we currently love to hate, Google, everyone else, they have a basic protocol and some behavior patterns that they mostly adhere to. The AI bots, they're chaos incarnate, man. They don't give a crap what rules you write them. They go, yeah, okay. They'll obey the rule once, and the next time they'll ignore it entirely. And instead of, where the search bots we have now, they hit your site and they kind of limit how much they'll attack your site at once. The AI bots now, some of them will just hit your site till it comes to its bloody knees.
Oh.
And that has been a complaint I've seen more and more online lately, is that they've started blocking the IP addresses from some of these search bots that are just absolutely misbehaving the way search engines did in the early years. They just misbehaved and they didn't listen, and they'd come into your website and they go, hey, you've got a 5,000 page website. Let's slurp it all up in 5 seconds. Yeah, no, that doesn't work, man. That just causes your website to crash. And then everyone else.
Oh, it does?
Yeah, they can't slurp all them pages. Your server can't deliver that many pages at once.
Oh, I see. So they don't crawl through it. They try to upload it.
No, they try to download it.
Sorry, download.
They try to download, or they try to, they hit a web page and you've got all these internal links in your web page that they hit. Maybe you've got 10, 15 links. Well, then they decide they want to hit all them 15 links at once, and they want to download those additional 15 pages at the same time. But when they've hit those additional 15 pages, those might have 5 or 10 links on them. They want those additional 5 or 10 links. So now you've gone from one page to 16 to 60 to 100 to 150 to 200 to 500 to 700 pages. Even though they're repeat pages because it's internal linking, it's still trying to download a new version of that page.
Okay.
And your servers can't keep up with that. I don't care if you're all by yourself on a server can't keep up with that kind of demand. It just can't, because that's too much data for it to parse and deliver the HTML all in 10 seconds.
Yeah.
And
That definitely makes sense.
So-
I always thought that like bots crawled through the sites, not that they downloaded the sites.
Well, they crawl through them, but as they crawl through them, they're downloading the pages. They're downloading to only look at the code. They're not looking at all the pretty graphics that you'd get, but they still get all those graphics every time they download a page. Those graphics still have to be delivered when they download the page.
That being said, inadvertent DOS attack.
That's exactly what it is. It's a
Yeah.
inadvertent DOS attack. And that's why, and then there's some AI bots that are absolutely bad actors. And that is why Cloudflare created the virtual world that bad AI bots are banned to. And basically what happens is the AI bots hit certain type of page or whatever code, I'm paraphrasing from the article on it, but they hit that and then they end up in this virtual world that Cloudflare has created where the pages are created virtually and they don't actually exist, but the AI thinks they exist. So it ends up in this virtual world of nothing that is never ending. And it causes the AI service to expend massive amount of resources on nothing.
So Hemdian asked, will black hole for bad bots still protect you? I think that's a very good question.
I have no idea on that one. I have not tested that
Yeah.
theory. You'd have to write to the plugin author and ask him if it would.
Yeah, the first thing to do would be to check out how recently they updated it, because if they're still updating it,
Yeah.
chances are they are modifying it to suck in the AI bots too.
Yeah. Well, I've got to do something because, the AI bots are getting bad in many ways.
Yeah.
I've probably ended up blocking a few IP addresses that were starting to spin out of control. And when they spin out of control on my server, I just block the IP. I don't even worry about who it came from. It's just like, yeah, go away. You're not allowed here anymore.
Mm-hmm.
So, yeah, it's one of those things that we'll see where it goes. But yeah.
All right, I think that is about it.
That's it. Well, thank you everyone for showing up. We greatly appreciate y'all being here. Thanks, Lars. Thanks, Ryan. Hey, and more people. Keep coming and coming and coming. We greatly appreciate all the people who show up and visit for a while.
Oh, Black Hole was updated 90 days ago. So yeah, they probably are changing it up. I would still say reach out to them.
Yeah.
And just ask.
Yeah. Reach out to them and ask. And if they haven't done it, well, it'll give them an idea on what they should do next.
Yeah.
All right. With all of that.
Oh, right. Hang on. There is no show next week as it is Canada Day.
Yeah, that means I'm not doing an interview. I was supposed to do an interview, and I'm not doing an interview next week. So, yeah, I decided to actually take the day off and maybe have myself a real 4-day weekend. Just because I didn't want to mess with it, especially since I'm going to escape to the Oasis for a few days.
Okay, now the for real goodbye.
All right, the for real goodbye. All right, a little bit of music. Carry us on out of here.
These are the days of thunder. We're gonna make time stand still. A quarter after midnight, and I'm watching the wall. Sometimes I feel so uptight, I just can't sleep at all. Every day doing the same old thing, we're losing time. The weekend comes, we gotta have some fun and rewind. These are the days of thunder. We're gonna make time stand still. We gotta feel the hunger, hanging over the edge just to taste the thrill.
Alrighty, folks. That's all we got for you now. Take care. Bye-bye.
Take care.
Oh my god, that is amazing!
Oh no. Obviously, we just lost the satellite feed.